thinking about it. Hi, we'd like to welcome you to Quilt Show Reno's live with Jane Haworth. She is a quilt artist and fiber artist extraordinaire. I'm just going to turn it over to Jane. It's a very informal conversation. So if you have any questions, just type them into the comments. Jane, what you're going to be teaching for us in at Quilt Show Reno. What are you teaching?
Yeah. So I'm teaching 4 different classes. I did make a note here. I'm doing a 2-day pet portrait class, and that really is a photo to collage class. All my classes are raw edge fabric collage, and my technique is to use glue. So that's a little bit different to if you're used to like the Laura Heine technique with fusibles. So mine is great for using scrap fabrics. You don't have to fuse all your fabrics, anything like that. So the first one is the Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's the pet portraits. So you'll bring in an enlarged photo of your pet, or it doesn't have to be a pet. If you have a favorite giraffe picture, bring that in. So doesn't specifically have to be a pet. So an enlarged photo. And then what we do, we draw on that photo to create the pattern. And then I'll show you my technique of cutting the fabrics and layering them and gluing them. And so eventually I have a little sample. You might end up with something like this.
Wow, that's incredible.
So this is the picture.
Wow.
And so this is the dog. And so you can see I've got a lot of, fabrics in here. I get people to share their fabrics because, you might want a specific color and it's hard to get all those varieties. Some people choose to use bright colors. So, a dog in purples and oranges, something like that. So you can definitely work that way also. And I give you instructions on, what to pack for that. So that's my 2-day class.
So Jane, if they say they can do any photo, so it could be a photo. They're not going to be selling it, so it could literally be any photo that they wanted to recreate of an animal. But this will give them the skills to be able to do a person, a grandkid, or literally it will be teaching them how to transform a photo on paper into a realistic collage on fabric.
Yeah. My technique, it definitely, I save favorite photos of flowers, bigger animals, fish, different things. So yeah,
and you're teaching them how to create their own patterns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we actually draw on that enlarged photo to create the shapes, and then those become the collage. So.
And would you say that they need any experience in like art or anything, or just a beginner could show up and be able to learn these techniques?
Yeah, it's definitely beginner friendly. A lot of people that do this, it's totally their first time. And I think with people doing pets, it's the love of their life almost. And so they want to recreate that. So definitely beginners. Some of my other classes that are shorter are again an introduction to the technique. And you'll all be kind of working on the same pattern in those. So this first 2-day class, it's everyone's working on their own project. And this class I don't teach that often. Sometimes guilds want it as a 1 day class, and you can just get started on your project. So having the 2 days, some people do actually finish the whole thing and it's ready to stitch. And so that's a good opportunity, or it's a good opportunity now for people to take this class. If I
Right.
offer it at Houston, it's probably one of my most popular classes and it sells out very, very quickly. So it's nice
So we're
to offer it
really
here.
fortunate. Yeah, we're very fortunate and lucky to have you offering this class here at our show.
I think so.
And yeah, for sure, for sure. If I wasn't busy running the show, I would
Yeah.
definitely the class I wish I could
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you do collage, you're going to learn so many different techniques that you might not already know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And although I won't, well, I might bring my sewing machine. But people don't, you don't need a sewing machine because you're doing collage. But at the end of the class, I do talk about how you would finish it and how you would stitch it. So you get to see that too. So
perfect.
yeah, so that's
perfect.
So I'll move on to my other classes. And so these ones are 4 hour or half day classes. And the next one on Thursday would be chickens. And I have a little sample here. So this I have a variety of patterns that I bring so people can choose what kind of chicken they want. Again, they don't have to do it in these bright colors. It's just something I've been drawn to more recently, is using a lot of color. So I have, let's see, I have a rooster here. So this is my rooster.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And so
you
he
get some-
sticks together with just glue?
Yeah, I do use a foundation, which you can kind of see underneath.
Yes.
And he's on his pattern, so I did kind of tack him down here. Let's see. So you can kind of see the pattern, what that looks like, and then you're cutting your shapes and filling it in, kind of like paint by numbers almost.
Right. He is beautiful.
Thank you. And then after class, you get to choose your own background. So until I've done the whole collage, I'm not choosing my background. I like to have it done, and then I can cut it out and then just place it on different backgrounds. Because you can go
and audition them.
Audition it, yeah. So you can go as fancy. You could piece a background. You could just use a single piece of fabric. So that's my chicken class. That's Thursday morning.
And if you're interested in the chicken class, you need to sign up right away, because that one is definitely almost full if it's not already full. Like, I feel like it's going to be full for sure before we're done.
Right. Right. Yeah, and then Thursday afternoon I have a poppy class, and this one you're learning to do, and this one there is a kit. So I provide the fabrics, and it'll be a variety of reds and greens, and I provide a background. And then I'm going to teach you some basic hand stitching that you'll work into your project. I don't have the sample here, but you can see the poppies that you'll be working on. These ones I put on a jacket.
Oh, gosh, that's beautiful on the jacket.
Yeah. So, you're basically making these poppies. These ones I haven't stitched, but it's the same pattern. So it's all.
And then with the hand stitching, what kind of, I know that I do have some people that don't do hand stitching anymore. They could always do machine stitching if they want it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is just another option. People might work just on the poppies the whole time, but I like to give them an option. And my hand stitching is very basic. So I stitch through a layer of batting and then the background with the collage on. And I'm doing basically running stitch and cross stitch and French knots. So just very basic stuff. And so all that will be included in your kit.
Yeah. Perfect. Opal did just text me. She said that there's 2 spots left in the Scrappy Chicken. So if anybody wants to sign up for that, there are 2 spots left.
Right. That's
Okay.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
and just kind of a little bit of a background. What got you interested in sewing and a career in quilting?
Right. So I did have a background. My college was in textile design, and I was actually more into weaving at that time. And I really haven't done much weaving since, I will say. But I ended up my career or my different jobs I got were all within sewing. And this was back in England. So um, I was always using the sewing machine. But I moved in 1998 to California. And I guess I'm so used to buying fabric and sewing. I did get a sewing machine, and then it took me a while to figure out there were quilt shops and what what do people do. And then I found out about my guild and really just pretty much was self-taught at the beginning, and I really wanted to do more art quilts than traditional. So then I actually saw Susan Carlson making collage on
Mm-hmm.
Simply Quilts it was, and just she was using raw edges and glue, and that was like a totally new technique, and it kind of gave me permission to do that. So
Right.
that's what I have stuck with, really. So
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. All right.
And should I talk about
Yeah.
my last class? So
Yep.
the last
For sure.
one on Friday morning, it's called Rabbit and Lupine, and you'll get two different patterns. So this is the little rabbit that you can make. So he's about 18 inches or so. I have done it in brown. This one happens to be in pink.
He's
This
adorable.
one, this one's in a variety of colors. Um, and then I got a sample that I'm working on, I should say. So he sits on a background surrounded by these lupins. So,
Very cute.
and
I love
then,
how you've added doilies to it.
yeah, so this one, I have I collect all this stuff, so I wanted to include it. So there's a hanky up here, that doily. I think there's another doily there.
I love
Yeah,
it.
so eventually it will get more covered with these flowers, with the lupins, but and I might
And then
add butterflies up here. So
when you stitch it on, do you just stitch around the edges, or do you add some thread painting for dimension and all that good stuff?
mostly it depends on the size of the pieces. A lot of these, like the flowers, I'm almost basically stitching around the edge.
Mm-hmm.
When there's something more like fur, I can add more thread painting in there to add more texture.
Yeah.
But I'm not like covering my fabrics with thread. So I'm
Right.
I limit
Anne
it a
wants
little bit.
Anne wants to know, do you have a pattern for the rabbit?
I do. I do. So if you don't want to be in my class,
Well,
on
I'm
my
sure she would
website.
love to be in your class, but she's one of my volunteers in my booth.
Oh, so yeah, I do have a pattern.
And we could let you out of the booth for a minute so you could take the
Yeah.
class if you'd like. But Mary Lou is interested in the pattern also. So if you can they order it on your website or?
Yes, I do. I do have PDF patterns on my website.
And what's your
So
website?
it is just janehaworth.com. So just my name. And then you would go to the shop and look up PDF patterns, I think. And there is definitely the rabbit and lupine there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you also are going to have a special exhibit at the show.
I am. Yeah, that's pretty exciting because it's not very often you get to see all your work hanging side by side. And so it means I can bring some of my older, bigger quilts and hang up. And so, yeah, it'll be very colorful with you'll see lots of pets and different animals, flowers,
So sometimes
birds.
when there's a
So.
special exhibit, it for the consumer, it seems kind of overwhelming because they're so amazing. But really, with the techniques that they learn in your class, they would be able to take those and put the techniques to use, making larger art quilts themselves, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I will have like one of my quilts has numerous chickens on it. So you learn how to make one chicken, but then if you make a number of them, you can make bigger quilts. So yeah, definitely the same technique I use on different themes. So
Perfect. So make sure that
yeah.
if you're writing a list of all the things you don't want to miss at the show, Jane's exhibit is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
It's I think it might be the largest exhibit at the show.
Oh, oh, that's
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, for those
Mhm.
of you who are watching, please type in if you have any questions for Jane, type them in. You can go to her website now. You don't have to wait till the show. You can go to her website and order the patterns that you're interested in. Her name is on the right below her at Jane Haworth. So you get the correct spelling, and then you can go to her website and purchase the patterns. Or you can go to quiltshowreno.com and sign up for her classes. And make sure if you're going to stay at the Grand Sierra Resort, you do get your hotels now. The room rates are $69 a night during the week. And that the group rate only is good through, I think, May 8th or 9th. And then it will go up to the regular room rates. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Jane?
I don't think so. I think I need to spend some time finishing some quilts. So I have a few new pieces to show
Oh,
in my exhibit. So
don't we all?
yeah.
That's on every one of our to-do lists is to finish up some quilts.
Yeah.
Okay, well, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to
All
show
right.
us what your classes are. And we're
It's all
looking
right.
forward to seeing you in 60 days.
60 days. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
All right.
Have a
Thank you.
great afternoon.